Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to be talking about why you shouldn't be focused solely on downloads, especially if you're a beginner app developer and you're looking to make your first revenue, why this is a big mistake. And there's a common misconception in the app developer community where it's like there's this false benchmark of success that I say it's like the more downloads you get on your game or your app, the more successful it is, it's actually, I wouldn't say it's not true, but it's partly true. The reason why is there's so many apps and games getting a lot of downloads, but when you actually ask the developers about revenue numbers, then they start to choke up on their words, because actually you find out that it's pretty much zero. Or very little actually, and it's like the number one thing app developers complain about is their eCPMs are so low, and all of these things, they're not generating any profit. So I just want to talk about like my personal experience. That's all these videos are that I'm making. They're actually from my personal experience. I'm not the most successful game developer out there, but I mean, I have found enough success where it's now my full-time job, and the money I earn comes completely from the games I put out on the App Store. So what I found is that when you actually stop focusing on just downloads and marketing, then you actually, what are you left with? You're actually left with your app. And the most important thing to understand is that your app is basically like, there's this analogy about a leaky bucket, okay? So if you think of your app as a leaky bucket, the users you have is the water that fills the bucket. Now, success comes from having a bucket that leaks, that doesn't leak that much, right? So if you look at like the top grossing apps on the App Store, especially like the social media ones, obviously Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I mean, their buckets pretty much leak free, so which means they don't lose hardly any users. Their retention is pretty much 100%. So if I had to give some advice, I'd say that the biggest factor in your game success or your app success is your retention. I mean, how well are you retaining users? Do they download it and then they delete it after the first try, or are they coming back into it? So the less leaks you have in your bucket, the more successful your app's going to be, and in turn the more revenue you're going to generate. So that's just one thing I want you guys to understand, is that downloads is not a measure of success for your app, because once you do manage to get good metrics such as day 1 retention, day 7 retention, day 30 retention, how many times your users are opening your app, these all contribute to a successful app. So I mean, I've had games that generate tens of thousands of downloads, but the revenue is much smaller than a game that was generating only about 100 downloads a day. I mean, I'll show you an example on the screen that I've got one game that's generating me about $800 to $1,000 a month with less than 30 downloads a day. So if you think about it in that context, 30 downloads a day is not a lot of users. But if you have 4 or 5 apps like that generating $800 a month, I mean, you could go pretty much full-time. It's a full-time salary. So yeah, so I'm not going to make a long video on this, but I just want you to focus on actually tweaking your app, constantly updating it, making sure that those benchmark metrics have been met before you even think about running user acquisition campaigns and things like that. Because like I said, if you look at the leaky bucket, if your bucket is just leaking everywhere, you're not going to actually retain any users. So you're basically taking that money and you're burning it. That's as simple as I can say it. So the thing I want you to take away from this video is that, yeah, I know like many of us, we we're not perfectionists, but really in the app world, you kind of have to think like that. You have to, every little aspect, I mean, from the UI, the colors you use, the sound effects, the music, the user experience, everything, you have to tweak it until it's at that level where it's retaining users, they're coming back. Only then you will start actually getting some traction, and you'll be able to run some ads and keep those users and actually make a profit. So until then, I'd say focus all your energy into that, and don't get carried away with the download numbers you see, because actually in the beginning it's really meaningless unless you have a solid app. So if you guys did enjoy that video, please leave a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe, and also let me know in the comments what you would actually like me to make videos on. If there's something, a specific topic that you'd like me to address, just let me know, and we'll see you for the next videos. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. Cheers.